Here's another thing you'll like about the new Ford. The irreversible steering gear. That means that road shocks will not be transmitted to the hands of the driver. A light touch is all you need to guide the car safely. Another thing that makes for easy steering is the large size of the steering wheel itself. The light switch and horn button are conveniently located on top of the wheel. And here's a surprise for you. Four-wheel brakes in the new Ford. When I say four-wheel brakes, I mean the finest four-wheel brakes made. They are of the mechanical, internal, expanding shoe type and are self-centering. Tests have proved that this is the most reliable and simplest type of four-wheel brakes and the easiest to adjust. All adjustments, you see, are made from the outside without removing any parts. No special tools are needed, and uniform adjustment on each wheel is quickly and easily obtained. The brake pedal and the hand lever each operate all four brakes, and the total braking surface is 168 inches. Imagine that, 168 square inches of braking surface. That means real brake protection. There is no chance of these brakes getting rusty and sticking because they are plated with cadmium to make them rust-proof, and they are enclosed to keep out mud and dirt. The clutch on the new Ford is constructed on exactly the same principle as the multiple dry disc clutch used on high-priced cars. It has 4 driving discs and 5 driven discs. It is reliable and easy to operate because it takes hold so smoothly and gently. And the best springs of all. The springs on the new Ford are of the transverse, semi-elliptic type. We adopted these springs for the new Ford because we found, after making many tests, that they were unquestionably the best springs for a car of this type. It wasn't a matter of saving money because these springs cost as much or more than other springs. The things wanted were safety and comfort, and the Ford Motor Company adopted these springs because it was found they gave more safety and comfort than other springs. It is interesting to note how they are made. They are constructed of the finest spring steel, and the leaves are wide and thin. Each different body type has a different size and number of spring leaves because the weight of each car is different. The size and number of these spring leaves is one of the reasons why the new Ford is such a comfortable car. The construction of these transverse springs also contributes to the safety and efficiency of the four-wheel brakes. Speaking of comfort reminds me to tell you about the hydraulic shock absorbers on the new Ford. These are a very fine type of shock absorber indeed. They are the very finest made. They combine with a low center of gravity, the minimum upspring weight, and the easing riding qualities of the transverse springs to make the new Ford one of the most comfortable cars on the market today. I want to tell you about 2 or 3 more points, and then I will close. Let's take the rear axle first. It is what is technically known as a 3/4 floating axle, and is exceptionally strong. The housing is made entirely of steel forging and steel tubing, welded into a solid piece of metal. Rolled channel steel is used for the differential housing, to which the axle housings are bolted. The axle shafts carry none of the weight of the car, the wheels running on roller bearings on the housing. All rear axle bearings are rollers. Drive is by a spiral bevel gear. Steel spoke wheels, as you can see, are used in the new Ford. These wheels were designed by Ford and are of great strength because each wheel is assembled by welding and becomes one piece of metal. Each spoke has a tensile strength of 4,000 pounds. There are only 30 spokes in each wheel, and they do not cross, hence the ease with which the wheels are cleaned. A quiet car. Perhaps I should have mentioned this point among the first, because it is certainly an important one. I want you to know that in designing the new Ford, every precaution was taken to prevent squeaks, rattles, and drumming sounds. Body panels and frame sections are welded and riveted together wherever there is a possibility of the body weaving. In all structural details, the new Ford cars are built to afford the utmost quiet and comfort. The chassis of the new Ford is lubricated by the pressure grease gun system, the simplest and most effective method of lubrication. We are giving a great deal of standard equipment with the new Ford. For instance, starter, 5 steel spoke wheels, windshield wiper, speedometer, gasoline gauge, door lock, dash light, rear view mirror, rear and stop light, oil gauge, theft-proof ignition lock, complete tool set. I could keep on talking about the new Ford for a much longer time, but I do not want to tire you. I thank you for your attention, and you may ask any questions you have in mind. Oh, just one more thing. We have an attractive little booklet which explains many of the features of the new Ford which I have talked about today. Be sure to get one of these booklets if you have not secured one already. Also, please fill in one of those little cards if you wish additional information about the new Ford from time to time. We'll be very glad to send it to you. I thank you.